Hello. Welcome to the Nerdy Folks Podcast, where conversations about nerdy things inspire greater faith in Jesus. Well, if you're a fan of Brandon Sanderson, today is your day to rejoice. It's being reported all over the place that the amazing author Brandon Sanderson has inked a deal with Apple TV for the rights to produce content based on the Cosmere universe. So awesome. We're going to get movies for the Mistborn series, and we're going to get a show for the Stormlight Archive series. It's just amazing. And if that wasn't enough, we've also learned that Sanderson is going to write the screenplays and have this super high level of creative control. And this is such a massive win for fans who are, frankly, sick and tired of amazing source material being tweaked to the point where it's unrecognizable by TV and movie people. So we're super stoked to hear that Sanderson's going to be that involved. We love these stories, and we know that we can trust that no one knows them like the creator. Brandon Sanderson is like the inventor of these stories and these characters, and we trust that he is going to do what's best for them. And thinking about Brandon Sanderson as the trustworthy creator of these stories that we love makes me think of the Lord. He is the creator. And it's a little weird to think in these terms, but we're almost like God's invention. We're like God's sentient AIs. Like we're the original AI that God created. And the question is, are we going to surrender our will and allow Him to write our story and be involved in our life? Or are we going to push Him away and insist on our own will? And as we've seen from TV and movie producers who have messed up amazing source material, that's not a good idea. So don't do it. Allow the original creator to be a part of your life. All right, well, thanks for letting me get my preach on there. We're going to talk more in depth about the Brandon Sanderson stuff here in a minute, but I received an email from someone named Emma Summer, and she is an artist, and she asked me if I would plug her work. And so here we go. It's an adult coloring book, and it's filled with these really lovely, beautiful pictures of like fantastical creatures. So it's titled Bestiary, Fantastical Creatures and Enchanted Beasts. You can find it on Amazon. It was published in October of 2025, and it's very fun. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to promote that because it seems really cool. All right, well, as promised, we are going to dive a little bit deeper into the new stuff with Mistborn and Stormlight Archive being produced on Apple TV. And joining me for this part of the conversation is Katie, and she's actually going to start off by asking me some questions.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be back on this one. So, Matt, you have been reading the Mistborn series books. How many have you read now?
I've read the first two in the series.
Give me your thoughts generally overall.
They're modern classics of the genre. Very exciting, fast-paced, amazing magic system that really makes your mind work. Great character development. They're just really well-written books.
How many stories are there?
There are 7 standalone novels, and there are a few novellas. The first 3 are set in one timeline with one set of characters, and then there's a long time gap in the same world. So the next 4 books have a completely new cast of characters, but they make reference to the original trilogy because those characters have become part of history by that point.
So when they're making these movies, will they do all the stories, do you think, or just the original trilogy?
Brandon Sanderson is writing the screenplay for the first movie right now, and that's all that's official, but it sounds like there's a plan and a vision to do more. So it probably depends on how successful it is, but I'd be a little shocked if they didn't do the whole original trilogy.
You mentioned these are action-packed. What do you think they're going to be rated?
That is a question I've been asking myself. I really hope they do kind of a PG-13 or TV-14. I guess it'd be film, so it'd be PG-13. I really hope they go that direction so that a broader audience can enjoy the stories. It doesn't demand an R rating, but it could get one. But I hope they choose to go the PG-13 route.
Is there anything in this series that you think will be difficult to to depict? Like I've heard about the elementic powers, or is there anything else that would be difficult to depict on screen that you can think of?
Yeah, I definitely think so. As far as the special abilities and superhero-ish elements, those are things that I think they can do easily. What's going to be difficult is that a lot of how this world works happens inside the characters. So in this world, certain characters have powers when they eat metal. And when I first heard that, I was like, that sounds so out there. But it's so cool because they'll keep like a vial of metal shavings and then they'll gulp them down in a dire situation. And then all of a sudden these things flare to life inside them, but they burn them on the inside. And part of the excitement is, when a character is running low on a certain metal. When all of a sudden they're going to go from being inhumanly strong to being just a normal, weak, like, individual. So how they're going to depict that aspect and the whole internal world is going to be interesting. I don't know if they're going to do it with color or they're just going to use dialogue. I'm not sure, but I think that is going to be a challenge.
That sounds similar to the Stormlight archive series, where it talks about the Stormlight, and that's what is used for them to have their specialized powers. So they also can carry stuff around them or utilize these different spheres and things that can hold that light, so they have special abilities.
Is there anything else that you think is going to be hard to portray on the screen, or something that's really going to be unique?
So I'm not an avid fantasy reader, so it all sounds very unique to me. I do think that some of the abilities that the characters with special abilities can do are going to be hard. Like, one girl can project out images, and that will be interesting to see how they do it, how they portray that. There's also like this other world that they can end up in, and the descriptions of that world are really interesting. So it'll be unique to see how they depict that on the screen.
So you asked me what I thought Mistborn would be rated. What do you think it will be rated as a TV show?
Well, again, I'm hoping for a PG-14 for a TV show. I think it's definitely possible to portray it in that. It also has enough scary characters and kind of unique intrigue where it could be rated R from like an action or gore standpoint. It does not have like traditional swear words or sexual scenes or that type of stuff. So if that were added later, it wouldn't be in line with the books that I've read, at least.
That raises a great point, and we've already made it on the show, but everyone's so excited that Brandon Sanderson's actually writing the screenplay for Mistborn. So we're going to get, hopefully, a faithful retelling. However, with Stormlight, one issue that I see is that it's so stinking long. Right now there are 5 books. If you ever go to a Barnes & Noble, go find them. They're humongous. They look like stinking dictionaries. Do you think they're going to be able to shrink this down into like a reasonable amount of screen time?
There's just so many seasons you can do, so I think that it could potentially work. I've only read one in like a half of the books, so I'm not the best person to ask. There's definitely enough content in what I read that you could create multiple episodes from just the content that I've read in the first book and a half. But as to whether or not it will be popular enough, or they'll make it into just one season for all of the books, or if they'll make it into multiple seasons to see how it does, I'm not sure. But there's ample content there, and I think the storylines with the character development would do well with a more long-term scenario, because there's definite character development that's happening over the course of these books that I've seen.
So I asked that question to my brother, who is a massive fan, and he's read all the books. And he thought, yes, they probably could do it in like one season per book. But then I asked, book 5 just came out, and I asked, is book 5, would that be like a good ending place? Shows often end after 5 seasons. Could they just do like the first 5 books and then maybe see if it's popular? And he said, yeah, maybe. But he said that 5th book really sets up the next 5. So it would be kind of unsatisfying. There's going to be, Katie's over here mouthing, how many are there? There are 10 planned. So there are 5 currently out, 5 more to come. And he's even put on his website, Brandon Sanderson's put on his website that, hey fans, you're going to have to wait a little bit long for the next Stormlight book because I'm doing these TV things right now.
I will say that as I'm reading or listening to the books more, as I'm getting more into them, the storyline is becoming more intricate and I am getting more into them. For me, I'm typically listening to it while I'm doing other things. And so it took me a little while to get into it. The first half of the first book felt a little slow to me as I was trying to get into this new world and what was happening. And there was inferences that I didn't quite get. But as it moved along, I'm definitely becoming more invested in it, invested in the characters, invested in what's happening, and the intrigue is really increasing. So I do think it'd make a great TV series as well, and I am planning on continuing to explore this series.
I think Brandon Sanderson's works could become global phenomenons. I mean, I think they could go to that level where in 20 years from now, it's like another Star Wars, but we'll see.
Come on, you can't compare with Star Wars.
I just think that we love superheroes, we love Star Wars, but that's been done so much now. I think we're ready for something fresh, and this whole world is so fresh and so ready to come to life.
I do agree with that. I think this whole genre is ready for something new because the old has been recreated so many times now. We're ready for something new, and these Brandon Sanderson books can really provide that.
And speaking of new things, I have a whole collection of interviews with artists and authors and video game designers. And so we're going to go and hear from some artists producing fresh, amazing new content.
I'm Gavin Nichols. I work at Soma Games. We're a video game studio based out of Oregon. And we're here at Realm Makers this is actually, I think, the second, possibly third year that Soma's been here. It's my first year. We're just meeting all fans and trying to spread the word that we make video games, especially, you see behind me, we've made a bunch of Redwall games, which, they're officially licensed based on the book series by Brian Jakes.
That's amazing.
And our latest title, The Reluctant Redemption of Radio Lux, is a visual novel. So I feel like that fits in very well with the crowd here.
So how can people play these games?
Yeah, so they're in a bunch of different places based on the different games. So we got the Scout, which is an adventure game. It's on Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation. Feast and Friends is a small little cooking game on Steam. Lost Legends of Redwall is on iOS and Android, and it's an interactive fiction, choose-your-own-adventure type game. And then, like I said, Reluctant Redemption of Verity Lux, our latest release, is on Steam, and it is coming soon to iOS and Android.
Okay.
You can visit somagames.com and see all of our games, because these are just the latest 4. But we've been around since 2008, so we've got quite a backlog.
Okay.
And check out all of our games on our website, and then you can get straight to the store.
That's super cool. So that means that people can pretty much, no matter what device they have, they can grab one of your games almost right away, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Whether it's mobile or through one of those other sites. So
yeah,
that's amazing. If you don't mind me asking, so what's your role with Soma? What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm a senior technical artist, which means I couldn't decide what to do, so I did all of it. But legitimately, I do both art and programming. I'm a bit of a Swiss Army knife.
Okay.
And so depending on the project, I'll either fill in a hole that we have on the team for that project, or I'll serve as a sort of interface or intermediary between different departments.
Yeah.
I do a lot of pipeline development. Basically, a lot of the times I'm responsible for the how of how we execute our artist's vision.
Okay.
And they're like, this is what I'd like it to look like. I'm like, cool, this is how we can do that. So I do a lot of that, do a lot of special effects, UI, animation, just general programming, tool development, a whole bunch of different stuff.
That's super cool. Last two questions. What's your most popular game, and what's your personal favorite game?
Popular game. Popular might be Bok Choy Boys, I think. Which is like this. It's an old game that we made, and it was on iOS and Android. And it just it was free, and so like it and it took off really in like China. So that's probably our most popular, just by like raw numbers.
Yeah.
And then my favorite. I'm gonna have to say the Scout, just because like I worked on it so long, and there was the Scout is actually the Scout anthology is a collection of 3 previously released titles, kind of bundled into one game and like streamlined. So
Awesome.
previously it was like episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3, but they're all separate games. And so this one like kind of brings them all together. And it was kind of like our flagship Redwall game. It's an adventure title, and yeah, I put a lot of love into that game, and frankly all of us did. So
That's cool.
yeah,
Okay, can I ask one bonus question I thought of?
sure.
If someone is out there and they want to be involved in the video game industry, maybe like a student or something, how can they do that? How can they pursue that dream?
Yeah. So I mean, depending on where you start from, like honestly, like there's so many free tools or tools where you can like start for free, and then once you like start making money, then you pay, kind of a thing. And the amount of YouTube tutorials and everything, you could just start making stuff right away. Blender for 3D modeling, GIMP for 2D art. Most of the popular game engines these days have at least a free version, if not outright free. Like Godot is an open source game engine. Unity has a free license. Unreal has a free license. So you can just start making stuff, and I would say like start making just small games and use those small games as learning stepping stones where you learn some small piece of what you want to do, and actually doing the thing will teach you so much, and it'll also get you a habit of, if you make small games, then you will you'll get in the habit of like finishing things, which is also a big thing. Like as artists, we all like to like, oh, this, it needs more, it needs more, it needs more. Like if you get in the habit of like actually finishing a thing, that's so powerful and good.
Okay. I think that's a piece of golden advice, because everybody likes to dabble and learn a new novel thing, but yeah, like you said, having the grit to take it to completion, even if it's a small thing, can just be a lot more meaningful and builds a portfolio. And all right, that's awesome. Well, thanks so much for the interview, and best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, all right. We're House of Ducci. We actually we do cartoons, video games, and ministry resources.
Okay.
We're a small team animation company, husband and wife. She's the writer and producer. I'm the, illustrator, animator, and director. And we've been working with churches and nonprofits a long time, and we've wanted to up the bar with what's out there and what's available for teaching boys 8 to 15. And we made a whole lot of projects this year. We're making pilots and game demos, and new pilots for ministry content that teaches biblical doctrines, things like discipleship.
Okay.
And we wanted to know what the audience thought. So this was us. We came here with a bunch of bookmarks for our book convention and stickers, and we want to hear people's real thoughts of which ones do you actually want to see? Do you want to see this? And can we get your vote by just following us online?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, for people listening, how can they find out about what you're doing and maybe give their 2 cents?
Absolutely.
Give their opinion.
I would say the best way is to subscribe. So, or go to houseofducci.com, right? Right on the front page, you can subscribe. And basically, we send out updates, so they would be the first ones to know about what drops. Like, for instance, our video game, we're hoping to have a demo out in fall. So they would be the first ones to know about that. And likely the first ones to speak into it, right? Like, they're going to be able to reply and start that conversation with us.
Yeah.
And continue the conversation into social media outlets like Instagram or LinkedIn or things like that.
Very cool.
Or YouTube.
Yeah. Right. I better sign up.
That'd be great.
Yes, and take a sticker. We've been keeping track of which stickers and which bookmarks people are gravitating to. It's been very, very helpful to see what, our potential audience really likes.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's a project that you're personally very excited about? I suppose you're kind of like, they're all my children. I love them.
Oh, we have like another dozen we're not even showing, but out of the ones we've had, I'm really excited about, I guess, 2 in particular. This one called Out of This World. I got some artwork for it here. This is a space adventure story, kind of like Naruto meets Gravity Falls in space. We've got a class, literally like school class, of kids from different planets all working on a space station that's next to a wormhole, and they get spooky things happening that they got to figure out.
Ooh, that sounds super fun.
And the other one I'm really interested in is called Buster's Breakout.
Okay.
It's like a pinball brick breaker game with this little demon named Buster who's been given an orb of light that gives him a new name, realizes he doesn't have to be like that maybe, and now he's going to clumsily figure out how by breaking his way out with the light.
That's pretty cool.
And as he plays the game, he changes into a new creature. So.
And I have to say, he's very cute. Very cute for a demon.
How about you? How about you, huh?
Well, I think that covers it.
You know what? I actually have another question, though.
Yeah.
You've got a character. It looks like a little bat character, like a bat cartoon character in Tidy Whities.
Yes.
Who is also very cute.
Yes.
So tell me about that character.
So his name is Bagel. Our 9-year-old named him Bagel the Bat. And so originally, we're big fans of Calvin and Hobbes. And there is a comic strip, a very particular joke where he is wearing his lucky underpants, his lucky rocket ship underpants. And so when we were trying to think of different company names and things like that, Lucky Underpants came up. And so he was originally drawn for that. And then everything just kind of consolidated under House of Ducci.
Yeah.
And we just kept him. So we get that question, why do you have a bat with underpants? It doesn't, what does that have to do with House of Ducci? That's what it's our love of Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, it's memorable, so it makes you smile. I love it.
Great.
All right, thanks so much for being on the show, guys. Yeah, best of luck.
I'm Candy J. Wyatt. This is my 8th year as a realm maker.
I see a book cover that looks like it has maybe Bigfoot or a huge gorilla. Tell us about these books.
Okay, so that comes from Myth Coast Adventures, and An Unexpected Adventure is the first book, where 8th graders find a dragon egg on the beach. In Unexpected Escapade, they find a unicorn in their horse pasture. And then in An Unexpected Exploit, they follow Bigfoot through the rift, along with a government agent and a poacher who's after all the magic. Yeah, that series was actually inspired by 2 of the kids on the first book who sat through my 6th grade study hall and refused to read. And then I saw this as I drove across the bridge at home. It was like a dragon flying across. Oh, what would a dragon be like in our rural area? Then the next thought was, would they read a book if I wrote them into it? And so I began writing where they find this baby dragon, and what do dragons eat? They eat animals. And in their area, which is based off of my own home, we have more sheep, cattle, and cranberries than we do have people. So there becomes a time where the main character is sitting in the market eating his lunch and he's overhearing the guys talking. Yeah, something's getting into the sheep up here on the mountain. I don't know what it is, and it's no coyote. Oh, you've heard the rumors, haven't you? About a dragon. No, there aren't dragons.
It sounds like you need to do a dramatized version of these.
They are available on audio through Audible with Dave Cruz, who is an amazing voice actor. So, yes.
So where can people find all this stuff online?
Online, it is available on all outlets, but it's also available at my website, candyjwyatt.com.
Okay, super. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.